Hello everybody, welcome to part 3 of my 18's Nightmare Beginner's Healing Guide. We are in Hell Raised, the last dungeon. Well, it's actually the second, but we're doing it last. This is the dungeon of the 18's. And basically, I'm using the same healing build again. I would say, arguably, that fists and pistols might be a good option over the build I'm using here, only because you can take a cleanse with it called Win-Win. I'm not going to talk more about that. I might do a separate healing guide for that build. I haven't got a move called Fired Up, which is a move that could replace Cold-Blooded. In fact, it's the only one that really should replace it in here. I haven't got that yet, so I can't show you yet or put a video up yet, but I'm going to show you how I would do it with the Blood Fist. It's not a problem because DPS normally take cleanses anyway. It's what they should do when they're in Hell. All of the Hell dungeons have dots that are applied by the bosses. So here again, I'm just building with Blood Shield, Cauterize, and consuming with Exquisite Corpse on the tank, or Hematic Rites on myself if I'm hugging the DPS to give them a shield. There will be certain points I'll show you where that's very handy. Again, you have to use it proactively, otherwise it doesn't work, because it's a barrier. Right, here, take some HP. I just take a minor. Now, on this boss, you will see these pillars, they fire up with an AoE. You've got to watch out for that. They will go round in a circle, normally following one direction. Keep an eye on it, move away from it round. A tank will be moving in the general direction, so you shouldn't have to worry too much. Just follow the tank and the boss. She casts Macro Shock. Now, that's why we have to take a HP piece, because Macro Shock, it's an AoE it's like a chain lightning, like Shaman's cast in World of Warcraft, and it can one hit you if you have 1970 life. So take a minor HP piece. The tank can impair it or line of sight it, but don't blame the tank if it gets you and you've only got 1970 HP. It's one minor piece at the end of the day. Just take it. Don't blame the tank, because it's sometimes hard to impair it or line of sight it, especially when he's going in to pull the boss. If you get one hitted there, well, you've got no one to blame but yourself. Okay, so we should be going in any second now. I hope we are anyway. Okay. No, maybe we're not. It's not a hard hitting boss, but sometimes you'll find that you will need to do a lot of healing. She does a dot, so someone will need to run a cleanse. It's not a major part of the fight, but if people were getting hit by the macro shocks a lot and the AoE on the floor, then you will get bogged down healing. So we know the AoE is coming round this side. The pillars are spawning around here. And the DPS has died. I think he got a macro shock and some AoE damage there from the pillars, so keep an eye on behind you, just in case the direction of the pillars changes. and it catches you out from behind. Right now, we're coming up to a boss called the Corroder. Generally, the DPS don't buff on here just because the next boss is only around the corner after it. So, what we're all going to do, the DPS and me as a healer, we're all going to hug behind this piece of metal here, this pillar, and the boss is going to go round the corner. The boss is literally just down there around the corner. He's going to go and pull it, and then he's going to pull it to here. And when he does, we're going to drop off this pillar and sit behind the boss. And you need to hug his ass. Now, the reason you do that is because he does an AoE shell, where if you are outside it, you will get killed. It will one-hit a DPS. And you need to also be behind the boss, because if you're in front of him, you will get cleaved and you will also die too. So be right behind the boss. That's the only thing you need to do, and then it's just burst him down. It's not a DPS race, so it's the easiest boss in here, really. In fact, when I first started doing this, I actually thought it was just a piece of trash, this boss in the normal and the elites. I didn't realise it was a boss. It's the Corroder, it's called the Corroder, it's a trash name, isn't it? So here he comes. And we're gonna just... Oh, right. Stay away from him if that happens. What happened there, I don't know, but the boss didn't go in a position straight away. He was facing us momentarily. That could have been quite brutal. So the tank is actually getting hit quite hard here. This boss can hit quite hard, but with this build, I say it's really, really easy, because you've got that empathy there, you've got the surgical still, so I didn't even use either of them with the exquisite corpse. Just got to keep an eye on things. Now making our way down to the next boss. Positioning is really important on this next boss.
The foundry fruit is king.
Hand-wired flesh tank. Hardwired flesh tank, sorry. Okay, so what we're going to do is the tank is going to pull him. He's probably going to take him over to the platform on the left, and the rest of us are going to be on the platform in the middle behind the boss. Don't be in front of the boss. Get behind the boss. The tank is going to be impairing Searing Brand. Keep an eye on this because you can save him if he has to soak one. You need 3 impairs for this to be able to take them, and if you miss one, it's messy, and he will have to soak one. You don't want him having to type in to warn you that that's going to happen. Just be ready for it. And what's going to happen is there's also going to be dots going down as well. You need to keep an eye on these about halfway through the fight. When that happens, I'm going to be using the Hematic Rites on ourselves. I'm going to use it before it does too much damage on us. As I say, you've got to use it before the damage goes off. We're just hugging here, DPS behind the boss. Keep an eye on that Searing Brand. He got it. Okay, and we killed it before any dots really got off, so you can see I got the Hematic Rites on though. As we were all hugging, all I had to do was hold Alt down and press the Hematic Rites button. And I've just been a noob and got the dot on myself. good DPS. He's hitting like 40k molten steels. This sugar daddy. There's that build. I've seen people hit a lot higher than that as well. Yeah, a lot of glances there. 14%. Yeah, that's a good point. Take fever pitch on this if you're a DPS. It's a good one to have to mitigate against. Oh, I'm getting fired. Okay, so on this boss, you've got to keep an eye on what he does. It's really important. When you enter, get it? Is he going to get it? Yes, he did get it. Keep an eye on the boss. As I say, he does Searing Brand like the last boss, but he also does a molten thing move. I can't remember what it's called. It does AoE to everyone. Molten metal. There we go. So really, what you want to do is get everyone up when that goes on. But the best thing you can do is just get hematic rights on yourself if you're hugging, just like on the hardwired flesh tank. Sounds easy.
Once, all was perfect, like you. But it was left to rot in the vile glass house of its planters.
Yeah, that boss also, you need to move down the room with it, because as you saw that fire I got hit at the start, that moves down the room, so it's a bit of a DPS race there. I haven't got my sprint on, so I'm just going to have to heal my way through this. Oh, Searing Brand.
This one's unit. Subunit.
No problem, let's just run. Just trying to avoid everything here, the trash, which I failed to avoid the first time. So yeah, also you notice there were pillars that fire up with AoE as well. The best analogy I can think of, although it's a lengthy shape and not circle like a clock, it's like a clock. They move anti-clockwise though. So not a circle and not moving clockwise, but that's the best analogy I can think of. So you need to watch out for these and position yourself so that you can still move down the room. The hardest job that is for the tank on that one, really. I just lost my sprint there. Now for this boss here, she's a naked demon woman with wings, so we're going to slot HP again. I haven't actually taken my HP off, so I don't need to, but I have 3k, a minor piece. There are two phases to this fight. The first phase is smash the hell out of the boss. Keep the tank up, really easy. Do hematic rights if you see a macro shot coming up, if you can. And also there is a huge AoE shell. You need to move into the middle of the boss. The tank can impair it, and 9 times out of 10 will do, but don't blame the tank if you die on that. There is something you can do to save yourself. Never blame the tank. That's phase 1 basically. Phase 2, the boss will be invulnerable. You will not be able to hit her. She will spawn a load of ads around the outside of the room, a load of demons. When that happens, you need to kill them. They will come out randomly. One will pop down and it will make its way towards the center of the room, towards the boss. If they reach the boss, they will do a massive AoE damage that will at least take half of your life away. Everyone it will hit really hard. The tank, it will take life from to not half their life. But if this happens, be ready to get your cold-blooded back up. Also, I forgot to mention at the start of that phase 2, make sure that you're ready to heal people with your cauterize, because there is dots go down. The boss puts some dots on people. A DPS should be cleansing these. If he doesn't, it can make it a bit of a pain in the second phase for you to keep healing people. So basically, it's just all about the DPS taking down the ads. If you're a leecher, which I'm not, you will be helping with that as well. Most of the time on that phase, you'll want to be positioned over the side, away from any ads, because the boss also throws a shell on top of you, like a shield, and if the ads run through that, they are invulnerable to damage, and they reflect the damage back to anyone that hits them, so you don't want to have that on there. Plus, while they're in that, they're getting closer to the boss as they go through it, and can cause the massive AoE to happen. So if you position yourself near the edge of the room, if that shell lands on top of you, it's not going to be in a dangerous position near any of the ads. In the third phase, it's the same as the first phase again. In fact, the first phase and the second phase just repeat twice, and then in the last phase, it's basically the first phase and the second phase all rolled in one. Oh, I've got a bit of lags going on here. So that's the AoE shell thing that I'm talking about. If that lands on you, if you are over here, say, then if it lands on you, it's no problem. See, it's just landed on me there now. Great example. See, it's gone. None of the ads are getting in it at all. And now more ads have gone. I'm free to really, because there's no ads around the edge of this side of the room, I'm free to move wherever I want, should I need to. I'm just watching the ads now. If any of them get close, get ready to pop that cold-blooded. It's important you do, especially near the end of the phase 2. If any hit the boss, naturally it will be nearer the end of the phase if it does happen. Because if you don't heal that up and then someone gets a macro shock on them, they're definitely going to die. So I've got some healing to do. Just going to move around the back here. Just going to see if I'm in range to anyone. I'm not really looking where they are, but I'm not in range of anyone. It doesn't matter too much that they're not so topped off yet. Going to move in around here. Now, that's... You will see, look, this ad here has got a shell on it. No one can attack that. Well, they can, but if they do, they will die. You see, all the time it's in that shell, it's getting closer to the boss whilst not taking DPS. So now back to phase 1 again. And now when phase 2 comes down, phase 1 won't end. The boss will still be able to take damage. So what happens is everyone burns the boss. Very quick burn there. We didn't have any problems. The reason you have to burn is because the ads start coming through the middle, and if it's left too long, they will all just be in the middle near the boss, and then the AoE damage from the ads comes down, and it's messy. Now, I'm not using any pots here, so I don't mind this bit. What you do is, the tank usually does it. You run through the ads, just the tank, and he gets the aggro off everything. And he dies, and everyone else is safe because they haven't engaged. So he runs them down back there. He will die. He adds the trash will run back to where they came from. And we are at the last boss then. Hello. Right.
Separate them. Kill it.
There's a few things to... there's a few different things you've got to watch out for this boss. He hits the tank incredibly hard sometimes, especially if he's standing with the boss stationary. You've got to watch out for that. If the tank is not moving, he's going to be getting hit by the boss quite hard. The tank is going to be taking the boss through to this